So they're hammering out arguments in a motion to dismiss, really based on prosecutorial misconduct, withholding information. Let's go back in for more of this hearing.
CST Popple to put me back, but remain at the courthouse. That's what I would ask.
All right. Is that okay?
Absolutely. My question for the court is, are we going to complete this motion hearing?
No, we're not going to complete it yet. Okay, I'm going to.
Can you just give us an idea so that we can be prepared for how you intend to proceed with regard to the motion hearing?
I'm going to have Hancock come up. You're going to call Seth Kenney, and I don't know why we can't do Seth Kenney's testimony if he's coming. Did you call him as a witness?
Sure, he's being called as a witness.
Okay, well, you should be prepared to call him. So we're going to do both, and I'm going to hear both.
So we're going to hear from these witnesses outside the presence of the jury and then in front of the jury?
Oh, you're right about that. Thank you.
That's my issue.
Thank you for pointing that out. Well, other than telling the jury to leave for the and come back at 3, which I'm not going to do to them, I'm going to continue the testimony, and he would. Well, you said actually. I'm thinking why can't the jury hear this? They heard Popple.
I'm sorry.
They heard Popple.
Oh, absolutely. No. I'm not making a comment on whether or not the defense gets to bring this in front of the jury. I'm making a commentary on the jury doesn't hear our motion hearing, and I just want to.
They're not going to hear. Okay. I'm going to take evidence from each of these folks. Do you have, is this a problem? So I don't know what I'm going to do yet, so this is why I want to do it this way, okay? I want Hancock on the stand. You can question her about this issue, okay? Seth Kenney comes, you're going to do all of his testimony, including this, okay? Bowles is separate. He wasn't going to be testifying, okay? And on Bowles' testimony, the jury will leave, okay? And anything further on this motion, the jury will leave. But I think that they can do Hancock and Kenney in front of the jury.
Can Mr. Spiro and I approach?
Sure.
So Judge Sommer laying out the plan there. The trial within a trial, we're now going to have witness testimony to determine whether or not these magic bullets that had shown up after the fact, even though the investigators say, no, we looked for it and turned over everything we had, what really happened there. So investigators are queuing up to testify. So also waiting here, queuing up to help understand this, I have Brian Buckmeyer, law and crime legal analyst, and also Catherine Lizardo, trial attorney. So thank you guys for hanging around while we watch the pieces of this kind of fall together. Brian, just give me your thoughts on the motion as a whole. Is it well-founded? Is it distraction? Thoughts?
So the motion to me is well-founded, and this is why I say this. This is what I would call a Giglio motion. Now, Brady and Giglio are very similar. Brady goes to exculpatory evidence to try to prove someone's innocence. Giglio comes from Brady, but extends it to talk about the credibility of a witness. And here you have law enforcement turning in information to get examined to some extent, but then listing it under a different number. The number reaches presumably the prosecutor or the defense. I think Giglio, as it is appropriate, goes to their credibility that it seems like they're hiding something. Now, could be a mistake or whatever it is, but it should be turned over to defense and allow for them to make any kind of arguments or inferences from it. So I think it's well-founded, and you make as much noise as you can to try to win your hearing. That's what I think. I think it's great noise, too. You know, I'm looking at it from afar saying, anything I can do to represent Alec Baldwin and to take the focus off of him, I'm doing my job. So, Catherine, in this particular case, what if they made a mistake and they didn't account for all the bullets and it was brought to their attention after the fact, and now the prosecution finally has turned over everything that they either mistakenly or negligently or even intentionally withheld from the defense? Should this survive a motion to dismiss? So what, as it comes down to the facts against Alec Baldwin? Help me.
Yes, well, I think the judge will rule that this will survive the motion to dismiss. I say that because it seems that this motion is geared towards changing where the focus should be. We talked about this during the debate. The prosecution has raised the issue that the defense is trying to implicate another person, Seth Kenny. He's the weapons supplier for the Rust case. And so we keep on hearing his name over and over again, and they're trying to the defense is trying to divert the attention to implicate him in this trial. Now, he's not on trial, and Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, the armorer, is not on trial. It's Alec Baldwin who's at trial. And the reason he's charged for involuntary manslaughter is regarding his reckless handling of the gun. So it doesn't really matter to the extent of where the bullet came from, what happened to the bullet, or the gun itself, but how he acted with the gun. That's what the prosecution is trying to tell the judge and to the jury of why he would be guilty of involuntary manslaughter. So I just wanted to make sure our audience understand that that's where the crux of the case is as well.
Yeah, and it's not about condoning what the prosecution may or may not have done. It's really, let's get to the germane issues here in front of this jury, but they don't have to worry about it for today because they're off. So let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk more about this on the other side and get back into that hearing as